Hi everyone! Today I'm going to show you how to make these bright and lovely sunflower canes. With this cane, you'll get a lot of practice with Skinner blending, gradient loaves, and you'll also see how you can take your skill further by making complex patterns out of bullseye canes. So what are you waiting for? Let's get started! Step 1. Create petal gradient loaf. To start off, I'll be using 21 grams of yellow, 15 grams of orange, 8 grams of red, 14 grams of medium yellow, 13 grams of dark yellow, and 7 grams of very dark yellow. I custom mix all these colors using mostly various amounts of yellow, red, and black. Create a Skinner blend with 19 grams of yellow, 15 grams of orange, and 8 grams of red. Run this through your pasta machine multiple times until well blended. The next step would be to stretch the sheet by folding it in half and run it through your pasta machine several times, gradually decreasing the thickness until you get to the 5th setting. Usually what works for me is to run it through 0, then 2, then the 5th setting. After that, create a gradient loaf by making 1/2 inch accordion folds across the length of the sheet. Then reduce the gradient loaf until it's more of a square shape. Next, round the corners with your fingers and then round it further by rolling it against a flat, clay-safe surface. At this point, my cane is 1.25 inch in diameter and 1.25 inch in length. Yours doesn't have to be exact, but I like to give a reference point in case you like to follow along. Set this off to the side. Step 2. Create vein gradient loaf. Next, we're going to create a gradient loaf for the vein. So get your knives ready and grab 2 grams of yellow, 4 grams of medium yellow, and 3 grams of dark yellow clay. Create a Skinner blend configuration. Here I accidentally curved the dark yellow the opposite way I intended, but I correct this later in the middle of my blending. The gradient blend had too harsh of a line, so I mixed some more medium yellow and placed it over the sheet in the curve I meant to have it originally and ran it through the pasta machine again. I thought I'd include this little mistake since I personally like to learn shortcuts and quick fixes from others as well. Next, fold the sheet in half and run it through your pasta machine several times, reducing the thickness setting until you reach the 5th setting. Make 1/2 inch accordion folds throughout the entire length of the sheet. After you've created your gradient loaf, compress the loaf inward to make it much more narrow and longer at the same time. You can also use the help of an acrylic roller to help flatten it further so it can be fed into your pasta machine. Next, run it through setting 2 of your pasta machine. How thick you make this sheet will affect how thick the vein will be, and I prefer the vein to be fairly thin. Next, cut the petal gradient loaf in half. The knife should be placed at the center so that each half is symmetrical when cut. Before inserting the vein, I like to taper the lighter end just to refine the look a little bit. Insert the vein with the lighter section of the vein meeting the lighter section of the semicircle. Cut off the excess clay and close up the circle with the other half. Step 3. Cane reduction. Next, you want to reduce the petal cane until you get it to about 4 inches long. For some reason, the red color was softer than the rest of the cane, which made it way more runny. I found that adding 2 layers of scrap clay at the end made it easier to evenly reduce my cane. After the 4 inch mark, I start compressing the cane into more of an oval shape instead of a circle. You want to pinch it so that you have yellow and red at the opposite ends of the oval. Do this while reducing until you get it to about 10 inches. After it is reduced to about 10 inches, pinch the ends with the red color. Your petal cane should now look something like this. Go ahead and set the petal cane off to the side while we work on the core of the sunflower in the next section. Step 4. Create core with bullseye cane. To create the core, take 10 grams of medium yellow and 10 grams of dark yellow and create a Skinner blend configuration. Run this through the pasta machine multiple times until well blended. Fold the sheet in half and run it through the pasta machine several times, gradually reducing the level of thickness until you get it to the 5th setting. Then, starting from the lightest color, start rolling until you get a tight, compact bullseye cane. Slice off the ends to see what it looks like. Next, with 7 grams of very dark green, create a thin sheet using the 5th setting and wrap this around your bullseye cane. This will give definition to the details of the texture at the center of the sunflower. Reduce this cane to get it to a little over 6 inches. After that, cut 1-inch slices to get 6 pieces. Take one of the pieces and slightly reduce it so that it's slightly smaller. This will help reduce gaps. Then compile the remaining 5 pieces to surround the smaller bullseye. Compress the cane to meld the pieces together. Next, reduce the cane until you get it to a little over 6 inches again. Then cut 1-inch slices again to get 6 pieces. Repeat the same process you had done earlier by reducing the center piece and then compiling the other 5 pieces surrounding it. Compress the pieces to meld them together, then reduce the cane until you get it to about 2.75 inches to 3 inches in length. Step 5. Compile components of sunflower cane. Take your 10-inch petal cane that was set aside earlier and cut it into 10 equal sections with each piece measuring about 1 inch in length. Assemble the petal canes around the core piece. You may have to reduce the core piece further to minimize any gaps after assembling all the petals. Alternatively, you could have also divided your petal cane into more than 10 pieces, like 12 pieces for example, to have more petals to surround the core piece. Voila! Here is your finished sunflower cane to brighten up your day. I just find it super neat how you can combine the techniques of Skinner blending, gradient loaves, and bullseye canes to create special effects that really give life to your art pieces. At this point, you can wait a couple of days for the cane to firm up before you cut slices out of it. If you still need other sizes out of it, or if it's too difficult to slice, you can apply cane packing to make the cane reducible. I hope you enjoyed this polymer clay cane tutorial. Please give this a thumbs up if you found this video helpful, and I'll see you guys next time.